Welcome to Overly Opinionated. Rest in peace to fallen kings.
And free the guys.
Free the guys for sure. So, let's talk voting.
You vote?
It's tomorrow.
You can do early voting.
I didn't do that.
Are you registered?
Yeah.
Deadass?
Yeah.
I'm not.
I'm voting tomorrow.
For real?
Yeah.
Tim Ryan?
Huh?
Tim Ryan?
I have no idea.
Who you vote for?
Who knows?
You going off what their names sound like or what
Yeah.
they look like?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not registered in it.
Every black name, clicking it.
Nah, but I'm not registered or anything. Like,
No, you don't ask people who they vote for, bro.
Why not?
No, that's not cool. That's not how democracy works. I'm not in cahoots with nobody.
Ain't that shit like a sport?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite team?
So, you ain't never voted before?
Never. Ever.
Why you don't vote?
I don't give a fuck. It's that simple. It won't change my day.
Man, and how much I completely understand that take. You know what? You know the reason that I wanted to talk about this?
Why?
Because of the voter Nazis. You know how they're... Yeah, it's so many of them. You know how we have like grammar Nazis? People consider me a grammar Nazi.
Yeah,
like people that just want you to do it the right way every time, right? Yeah. Voter Nazis really get they kill me, bro.
Yeah,
I can't.
They're so passionate too.
So passionate.
Like, how many times have you voted?
Just once.
Are you counting like tomorrow will be your one time?
No.
So why are you voting tomorrow? Like, what changed? Also, another question: is this going to be a regular thing for you?
Possibly.
Okay.
The abortion thing really got me.
To vote?
That shit got me. No, it didn't get me to vote. I'm tired of having an opinion and being told that it's not valid because I didn't do something. And also, I want to prove them right or wrong. Like, there's somebody that I speak to who's, like, super political. And he says, like, you have to vote and you have to keep voting because the way that things change is, like, long term.
Mm-hmm.
You keep voting for these changes, and that's how your daily life changes. And I'm like, I don't know. It feels like that's completely incorrect.
That kind of makes sense to me.
I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense. It's just not true. Like, my mom has been voting her whole fucking since she could, and she complains still. Like, the things that she wants, the world ain't what she wants it to be. Like, the hood's still the hood.
Right.
Niggas still niggas.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, I want to vote. Like, if I was to really care about my vote,
mm-hmm.
like, to feel passionately about my vote, I would have to feel like I could change the reality of America. And you just can't, bro. Like, that's not something that you don't get to vote for that.
Right.
And to me, it makes it less valuable. But I also don't like being dismissed. If you can easily,
when you don't vote.
Yeah, if you can easily dismiss me, nah. Like, I'm not with that shit. I want to be able to tell them that they're wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I want to be able to tell them, like, you see how niggas is still niggas? Like, that shit don't work.
You feel like you can't do that unless you vote. Like,
I'm told that's what they tell me.
Yeah. So my reply to that is like, I know people who vote and says the same thing. But then these are also people who be like, see, it's rigged. Like, they be like, oh, Trump won that election. He should have been president. But I'd be like, you voted. Like, if your vote really mattered, why isn't he not in office if he won all these votes? Answer that for me. And they be like, oh, it's rigged. So if I vote or not, it really is not up to the people. Right? Would you agree?
That's what it seems.
So why would I even waste my time with it? If you're about to sit here and tell me this shit is rigged, why even waste my time?
Well, they might just be wrong.
Like,
well, it might just not be rigged. But it is absolutely rigged in the fact that you can't vote for the things that you care about. Like, that's not up for vote, bro. Yeah. The things that you give a fuck about, you can't, like, there's not a ballot to say, yes, I want that. Like, yes, I want minimum wage in the hood to be the same as, like, average everywhere else.
It's kind of like that, but it comes with other shit just niggas don't fuck with, though. Like they'll throw it in a bill, and then a guy gets signed off on some weird shit. Like,
I feel like you're just saying things right now.
Listen, for real, like, it was this one bill. They was talking about some gun law, like they'll remove guns. but it was added, like they'll cut funding in schools and shit. It didn't get signed. The people was upset. That abortion shit. It was like, to save the abortion, somebody had to sign off on it. And it was like, oh, we're taking away the guns too. So people didn't sign off on it, and they just made a headline like, oh, they said no to signing off on the abortion. And they read down the whole bill. It was like, oh, it wasn't just the abortion, it was other shit added into it. I think that shit is corny.
It literally sounds like you just made that up,
bro. If I show
you know that it sounds like you just
okay,
made
but
that
if
up.
I show you, would you apologize?
No, I don't care enough. I'm just saying that sounds made up.
No, but shit like that,
especially from a guy who has never voted. Like, how do you know what the bill said?
Because I hang around people who give old heads who gives a fuck about politics.
But they might be lying. They thought Trump won.
So
they're wrong all the time. They're just wrong all the time. I agree with
you. But do you not think it's rigged? If not, why do we have an electoral college?
No, I don't think it's rigged. I don't think that that's what the electoral college is for.
For picking the president.
Yes.
So what's the vote for?
Supposedly, you're supposed to your representatives are supposed to vote for who your
leading candidate of the party is, right?
No, but who I don't know if they call it districts or territory, whatever it is. Supposedly, your representative is supposed to vote for the person that everyone that got the popular vote in your district or area, whatever the area is called. Yeah. And the shit thing is that those areas are decided by who the fuck knows who.
Right.
And we literally don't know who picked those. But overall, I think the reason that I don't think it matters is because I don't, like, the things that I care about aren't on the ballot. Like, it's not realistic. The things that I want aren't realistic. Like, I want cops to legit get prison. Like, I want them to legit, like, really get prison. Like, actually be punished.
Like the felons that they are.
Yeah. Like, I want them to have less power. And I'm not saying, like, I don't want cops. I'm saying, like, I want them to not be allowed to do whatever they want and get away with it sometimes. Yeah. Like, sometimes is way too much. Like, way too... For the amount of power that they have, they can't get away with it.
That sometimes is like 90% of the time.
Regardless, bro, even if I showed you stats that say 30% of the time, you know how much 30% of the time is when you can literally take someone's life? Yeah. Like, it's way too fucking much.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Or not even take their life. Like, something that they do way more regularly is ruin people's lives. And I'm not saying that these people aren't doing anything. Like, I'm not saying that there aren't people out here that are committing crimes that, I don't want to say belong in prison, but because of the way that our system is, they're buying their ticket to prison. I'm not saying that there is nobody buying their ticket to prison. What I'm saying is, when you can make a decision that decides whether this person goes back to their family or not, that shit got to be perfect.
Yeah.
Or as close to perfect as it can be.
No bad apples.
And no one's trying to do that. No one is trying to make it as close to perfect as it can be. And I can't vote for that. That's not a thing. Like, that doesn't exist.
There's also another reason I don't vote. I have never experienced anything that made me be like, I need to change this with the vote.
I feel that.
Like, even with $5 gas prices, this did not make me, I need to vote.
I feel that.
I have never felt that need yet.
Yeah, I feel that.
I think once I feel that need, maybe I'll start voting.
Like, that makes all the sense in the world to me, man. Like, like I said, the reason I wanted to bring this up is because of those voter Nazis who, they just don't understand what it sounds like to me, at least. Maybe it's not what they're saying, but what it sounds like to me, at least, is you don't have freedom of vote. Like, you don't have the freedom to vote. You have an obligation to vote.
Yeah.
And that is not true.
So,
like, if you're actually free to vote, you are free not to vote.
Mm-hmm. And also, it's weird, too, because you could get released from jail and all that and be a felon and can't vote. That's wild to me. Why can't felons vote? Like, they served their time and all that, but you telling me they can't vote? They can't make a change to the country that you're saying we're trying to do?
No.
That's weird.
I don't know how deep we trying to get on this.
Niggas, they don't want niggas voting.
I don't know how deep we trying to get on this, but like 80% of all prisoners is black. I don't know, man. Like,
but if you really look at it, 3 of them is just 1 vote. How they used to think.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, I don't know, bro.
And them voter Nazis, like, if their vote really mattered, why are they trying to get people to vote?
Well, because they know that there are people, and I completely understand it. Don't get me wrong. And this is going to be a common theme throughout all of our episodes, throughout this whole show. I am always going to try to humanize the opposition. Like, that is very important to me. Humanizing the opposition. They are under the impression that if we don't vote, evil happens. We don't want evil to happen. And I completely understand that. If I felt the same way, I would be just as passionate about other people voting.
I got a question. So the people that you know who are voter Nazis,
Democratic as fuck. Huh? Democratic as fuck.
Are they trying to get you to vote for what they vote for?
Now,
or just to vote?
They say that they only want me to vote. That's all they care about. Which, it might be true. That might be true. They just want the democratic process to work out. And that might be true. But the freedom of voting is that I don't have to. Like, if I'm not passionate enough to do it, I don't need you peer pressuring me to do it. Like, I'd rather just not do it, you know? Like, I'd rather you not talk to me about it. Especially, like, people, oh, I hope you're voting tomorrow. Yeah, I hope I'm a millionaire tomorrow. Why are you telling me what you hope I do? Like, I fucking hate being manipulated like that. And then I'll say, like, yeah, but what if I'm voting for the people that you don't want in office? Like, what if that's the case? And they'll always say, oh, I just want you to vote. Oh, I just want you to vote. I'm like, well, matter of fact, bro, I'm not, like, I'm actually going to read you this conversation I had.
I would be like, are you
stupid? At least this part of the conversation, bro, because she was tripping to me.
Yeah,
she said, so I said, what if I'm going to vote for the people that you don't want in office? And she said, I just want people to vote. It's very important to me for you to vote any chance you get and not so much who you vote for. I responded to her, but you don't feel people should express the same type of freedom about the choice to vote. Like, you think I should have the choice to vote for whoever I want to. But you don't carry that same energy into me voting.
Right.
Like, you think I have to vote, but you want me to be able to choose who I vote for. And I think that that's just inconsistent. Like, can't you carry that same energy?
It is.
Like, can't you just say, well, you can vote or not, you know?
And you know why them type of people are weird? Because this country kind of a joke. There was niggas who was voters who was voting for a dead gorilla, writing them in, Harambe. He received like 20,000 votes. That is crazy. But these are the people you're telling to vote. And they're writing in Kanye West and fucking dead gorillas and shit.
Well, I think the point is to say, I don't like the candidates that you choose, or that, I don't know who you is in that situation, but the candidates that I have to choose from are as viable as of candidates as Harambe. I think that's the idea. Like, these candidates are such poor choices that I literally could not pick something worse.
But would you consider them treating it like a joke?
No.
See, I would take that as a joke. A funny joke, though, but a joke.
That's only because you're not giving the opportunity for a different, like, a perspective that's not the one that you first come up with.
Yeah.
Like, the one that you first come up with is, oh, these niggas, like, why would you write that person in it? Like, there might be an actual answer to the question of, why would you write that in?
Why not just not vote?
To make a point.
Like,
not voting is the same for people who don't give a fuck and people who can't find a viable candidate. But voting and writing in someone who is clearly incompetent to the degree of either being Kanye West or dead.
So, Would you ask the person you're voting Nazis, like, what if I voted for the Incredible Hulk? Would you be upset with me?
I would ask them that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious to the response because I voted, like you said, like I did what you wanted me to do. Like, was this good enough for you?
I just don't understand. I don't understand how they can miss the mechanism of what they're talking about. Like, when you tell me that you don't care who I vote for and you just want me to vote, why?
Yeah.
If I don't want to vote, why do you care whether I vote or not? Like, bro, there's pottery classes probably every fucking weekend. You don't have to care what I make, but do you have any give a fuck about me going to pottery class? No. Like, why would it matter to you at all?
That's why I feel like they want you to vote for who they're voting for.
Because, and that's why I asked that question. That's why I asked that question.
Because the other option just make you look like an idiot. Like, would you agree? If you not voting for, I will. Nigga, don't vote. If you ain't voting for who I'm voting for, I want to make sure my nigga wins. Don't vote. Like, that's how I would be. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Why would you want me to vote for your opposition? Like, that wouldn't make sense to me.
Okay, so what do you say to the response of people died for you to vote? People died for you to have the right to vote.
Idiots.
What?
Idiots.
Who died? You're saying the people who died?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's crazy.
But truthful.
Nah.
Why not? And before y'all listen to, I have family who has served in the army. Uncles and aunties.
When you say army, you mean military, right?
Military, I'm sorry. The military. Uncles and aunties. Like, when I say uncles, not great aunts, my mom's brother and my mom's sister have served. Mm-hmm. So, don't say I don't give a fuck about all. Well, I really don't.
I was about to say,
I don't give a fuck. But don't say, oh, you must not have lost a loved one. Stop. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I know people who served in World War II and all that. Like, stop. They're idiots. They're idiots, man. I really feel like you're an idiot if you was a black man who served too. Like, you serving in a country who don't serve for you. You're an idiot. Or I guess you want your free Camaro or whatever in free school. You're not an idiot. I see you got a purpose, but anyways, but yeah, that means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing to me.
Idiot seems far.
Disrespectful. Let me dumb. Is that better?
That is literally the same thing.
But I'd rather be called dumb than an idiot. But
I just don't understand. So because you disagree with what they did, it makes them dumb?
It's heroic, but dumb.
I don't understand what makes it dumb.
You're giving up your life for someone to write a dead gorilla on a voting thing.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
The option, the ability to do that.
The ability to vote. The ability to have representation.
Sure.
Yeah.
The representation is not that good if you ask me.
But it is some representation.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, things are absolutely better than before.
I agree.
So how does that make, that's actually, it was a great fucking choice. Things are better. Like I've said before, we need these activists. These activists would never have mattered if it wasn't for our troops giving us the opportunity for our voice to matter.
But in the sense of voting, I just don't care enough about voting.
But you don't. And now look, I'm someone who doesn't. Freedom of speech,
yeah, I fucks with. All right, that's something important right there.
Now that's something, like, voting is something that I'm not passionate about whatsoever. But I totally accept that the freedom to vote is extremely important.
Sure.
Like, the people who are making the difference.
Now, if they went to war only for that is important to you? If it was they only went to war just for people be able to vote for something, is that an important war to you? If it was just only that, nothing else.
I think I could buy that.
Not me.
I think I could buy that just because if they are right and voting has made the differences that have changed, like I think in 2022, the chances that me or you or anyone that we know is making the vote that's going to make life better, low likelihood. I think it's a low likelihood. But back when people were dying for the opportunity to vote, I think that there's a greater chance that voting back then mattered to the degree where me and you could have this conversation and I could be married to a white woman.
So, I am speaking from a position now, like, I don't think voting matters. But with what you're saying, I totally agree.
But those are the people who died for voting.
Right, yeah. Okay, let me backtrack on that. So
fucking thank you, man. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'm gonna backtrack on that. So I just feel like because I want to say I know voting doesn't matter because I feel like before Obama would have had black representation in office. I feel like because my grandma voted religiously, my mom religiously. Like I know for a fact that my mom did mail-ins. My older brother always took her in. Like my grandma, like that was a normal thing, and I'm assuming all older black people did that. Did your grandmother and mother always vote?
Absolutely.
So I feel like there would have been some sense of black representation in office, like a governor of Ohio, something, and we ain't seen that since Obama. Like, and that's why we have not seen that since Obama.
There have been black representatives before or since.
I'm talking about on high level.
You're talking about the president.
Yes. Oh. What about the governor of Ohio? Who? When have the
Ohio is white as fuck. But I know you don't realize that, but the reason that we don't have black representation here is because Ohio is very well known to be white as fuck.
Also a red state too.
Like it's farms. So, like we mostly farms. We got lucky and was born in cities.
But that's what makes me think, like, this shit really be for nothing.
I think you're the reason that the voting Nazis tell me that my opinion don't matter. Because you are ignorant and you go based off of your whatever the knowledge you don't have. Uh-huh. You go off of knowledge that you don't have, but you act like you know. And because of that, like when someone is having a conversation and they know, like imagine me telling you about UFC.
That's good. That's a fire one. Shout out to my man.
Imagine you telling me about UFC, right? Why would you be doing that? Like I know more about it than you.
Yeah.
Imagine what it would sound like to me. Like
I'm an idiot.
What are we even doing here? Why would I have this conversation with you? Right? And that's how these voter Nazis feel when you complain that we don't have any black representation, even though they could probably name.
That's the thing. I won't complain. That is not going to change my everyday life. But I do like to see black people winning.
So the things that I want to complain about is how cops treat people.
Mm-hmm.
It's how cops get away with literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that a voter Nazi could tell me. You don't get to complain about that. Like, who did you vote for?
But I think that's crazy because...
I think it's crazy too.
Because no matter who's in office, that shit doesn't change.
Facts.
Like, it's the same thing. Like, so I'm not understanding the point they're trying to make there.
You know? And that's where I say, so there's one person who was integral in me voting last presidential election. Because I would tell him the same thing. Like, bro, there have been all different types of people in all different types of offices. People that my mom wanted in office, people that my mom didn't want in office, and the hood still felt like the hood every time.
Every fucking time.
And he was like, well, yeah, that's why you gotta vote. It's not going to change immediately, but you got to vote for however long, and then, maybe it won't change, but maybe it will. I'm like, it's a waste of time then, huh? Like, that sounds like a waste of time then, huh?
Yeah.
Man, talking to you about it now makes me feel like we're being bamboozled to play a game that we don't care about.
That's exactly what it is, though.
I don't know for sure that that's exactly what it is, but to remember him telling me that, it's possible that it doesn't change in your lifetime, but the goal is to lay the groundwork for it to possibly change later on. And it's like, I don't know. Man,
I have a question for you.
It sounds so selfish to say, what's the point if I don't get to see the fruits of my voting?
But I have a question. How long does it have to take for you to care about it? Like, if it changed next year, you like, oh yeah, voting the shit, my niggas. Y'all need help in the way. Like, how long does it
told me that there was 45% chance that me voting the way that I vote would change how the hood felt or how justice was brought to cops by the time my nephew was my age, I would be banging voting.
Okay.
I would be a voter Nazi.
Now, it has to be both? Or is there like one thing changed for you? Like how the hood felt or how the cops treat people?
Could it be one? It could be one for sure.
So I have a question. Now, I am not a Republican or any of that.
You're kind of a Republican.
But I have a question. The hood ain't feel different when them stimmies hit?
No.
Dead ass?
Dead ass.
What? Niggas was up.
Exactly. Again, I don't know how deep we want to get, but niggas was buying TVs, gang.
That will always be a thing, though.
Not if niggas used to having TVs.
Now, see, that's a whole nother topic right there.
What, financial stability in the hood?
Yeah, that and whose fault? Like, yeah, bro. Listen, that's a whole other topic right there. Though. But
no, that's not where we gonna go.
Yeah, right. But I do we going back to that though. Oof. I'm throwing that in the notes.
You are gonna be the most hated man in America.
But does it have to be said?
I don't know. If we're gonna have the conversation, it has to be said. Yeah. But if you could convince me, so what's the point? What's the point of you asking that question? Because if you could convince me that there's a 45% chance that my voting is going to legit change the world, at least the world as I see it, within the next 20 years, I'm in.
And then,
but you can't do that.
But yours was specifically on tough topics like that, though, right? Not like your everyday gas
That's
price.
what I give a fuck about.
Right. So
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, man, as much as I don't want to, I fucking hate saying this shit because I know that it closes people's ears. And I know that it also perks up the ears of people who aren't thinking deeply enough. But this is where I feel like white privilege comes in. Like, you have the opportunity to worry about gas prices. You have the ability to worry about things that we don't even get to worry about yet, dog. We just trying to make it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it. I'm just trying to go home and not get fucking stopped or killed by the cops.
Right.
Like, niggas just trying to make it, bruh. And they have the ability to really care about, like, these levies and da-da-da. Like, I can't believe our taxes are up. Gang, I don't own nothing.
That's a fact.
I don't own a goddamn thing.
That's a fucking fact. And then it's like, with the gas and shit, like, bro, what I'm gonna do? Just not go to work? Like, I'm gonna pay it no matter what it is. I am going to pay it. I'm gonna complain about it, but I'm gonna pay it. It's not gonna be like this forever. It's gonna change. We're gonna move on. Like, but there's other problems. Like, you just, like, the cops, you have to deal with that shit. Like, at some point, that shit gotta be dealt with. Because you can't come back from them type of mistakes. I can come back from a $5 increase on the gas price or whatever. Like, I can come back from that. There's other shit you just can't come back from. So, I feel you on that. So, do you think the people you talk to about vote, like, you complain about something and just be like, I did vote. Like, what's your next step now?
The real crazy thing is, bro, I don't complain. Like, that's the crazy thing. I don't complain. But when I have those conversations where I'm telling them that I just don't fuck with the idea. Like, I don't fuck with how we getting down here. I don't fuck with how this is done.
Yeah.
It always comes up that complaining is something that is, taken less seriously if you don't vote. And again, I'll refer back to the conversation I had with the voting Nazi earlier, where, because remember I said, she not keeping the same energy.
Yeah.
You're not keeping the same energy with freedom.
What was her reply to that?
She said, as to whether or not to vote, I suppose so.
And you're okay with that?
I've always felt very lucky to vote and have done so since I turned 18. I see how many other countries that's not a real sentence. I see how many other countries that this is such an actual hardship. So I do feel that it should have a bigger fixture in our lives in America, no matter who you vote for. Plus, I don't want to hear people complain and find out they never vote. Now, before you jump in, I do want to say I can at least empathize with a part of this. I have the ability to go... No. Well, yes, kind of, yeah. Because I have the ability to go to college for free. Like, I could have done that.
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
I still could do that. And I don't want to. Like, I don't like the idea of college, really. Mm-hmm. And also, I just don't want to spend my time that way. I would rather make money right now instead of going into debt. Mm-hmm. And that's a choice that I simply just want to make for myself. And I do make that choice for myself. But when there are people who want to go to college and feel like they can't because of their financial situation, and I am literally just saying, fuck a free education, a free college education, I do feel like I'm throwing, I'm throwing my least favorite food away in front of a starving, what do they always say, a starving African child. Yeah. Like, I feel like I'm doing that. So I completely understand where she's coming from, but also,
can we pause that right there?
That's what we have freedom for.
But with your ability to vote, who is seeing you not vote? No one.
That's not the point.
Like,
the point is that you are not taking advantage of an opportunity that some people yearn for. And I completely understand that.
But you'll have that problem with everything. Like,
absolutely.
So
that's very true.
This is I feel like that's a waste of a point there, because you can.
It's not a waste of a point.
When I say that, because you'll always have that problem. If you don't like a food and you I can't eat this, it makes you throw it, and you throw it away, there's someone else who will eat that who don't have anything to eat. Like, you'll always have that problem. Like, that problem will always exist. You just have to move on from that problem. That type of problem. No matter what you do, you're going to have that problem.
I think that's one way to look at it, but I think it could definitely make you more grateful. It could make your decision a more thoughtful one. Like, I rarely throw food away, even if I dislike it. If I can stomach it, I'm finishing it. And, partially for the fact that some people don't have the ability to get food, but also I grew up where that wasn't an option. Throwing food away wasn't a thing.
That's a fact.
Like, so I completely understand being thoughtful and adding that, people don't have this opportunity. When you realize that some people don't have the opportunity that you make or that you have, it makes the decision to throw that opportunity away way less cavalier. Like, you don't get to make that decision just inside yourself. You don't get to make that decision so loosey-goosey. Like, oh yeah, nah, fuck voting. Like, I don't know, man. People, like, I could literally bring up videos on my phone, on Reddit, of people not being able to express themselves in some countries.
Yeah.
And they would love to be over here and voting for what changes.
But all that does is make me want change for them. Like, I will go there and vote for them. Y'all don't have it. I will help y'all get it. Like, here.
You wouldn't even know if that was on the ballot because you ain't look.
Like, like, I'm Bullet to bet my life that's not on the ballot.
You might be able to save Iran, bro.
But that shit is... And shit like that makes you not want to vote. How they take care of other countries before taking care of us, I hate that shit.
It's not before taking care of us.
They don't take care of us. As in the hood. Send
$1
billion to the hood, bro. That's weird to me, man. Bro. That shit is just weird as fuck to me, bro. And then like shit with lottery, like that shit that's supposed to go to our schools, but I don't feel like it goes to them hood schools though. I don't feel like that at all. Because the lottery was made for schools. Did you know that?
No.
Bro, that's why the taxes, when you win, is for our school shit or whatever. And I just feel like that just can't be true. Because why does, when I say our schools, the hood schools look like this? Like
no, they look pretty nice now. I done worked on a couple of them. They all right.
You'll get some high schools with a McDonald's and shit in it. What Akron Public School got that?
That's probably for the better, to be honest. Like, I know some Hotep niggas this. You know what I'm saying?
Like, that shit, I just don't, man. I just think they handle shit weird, man.
No, I agree with you. I agree. Like, I know I was joking, but to your overall point, the hood is definitely not the center of attention the way that it probably should be.
Right.
Like, if that's where the problems are in America, let's focus on that. You know what I'm saying?
And do you think if we, like our group of people, vote, that would change? Honestly?
No, but I don't know. No, but I don't know. And this is part of the reason that I'm voting. Like, as much as I want to prove them right, like I said, I want to prove them right or wrong. I feel like I'm going to prove them wrong, but that's only because, like, this is my bias, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I already don't care. I already don't care about voting. But if I can make a change, let's fucking do it, man. Let's fucking go.
So,
like, I'm going to see what's on these ballots. You feel me?
I don't even know what these ballots look like. Does it tell you what these people stand for?
No.
So
no. You want to know what's sick, dude? What? You want to know what's really sick? It's
I know
crazy.
You can't speak on it there.
I talked to an old head, and he used to be in politics. Mm-hmm. This is a black dude too. He used to be in politics, and he told me, and this was before I had ever voted. He told me and my older brother, he was like, you are wasting your vote if you don't vote for a Republican or a Democrat. And I'm like, well, that's a shitty thing to say. Like, you're making it true. Like, when you tell people that, you are making it true. If more people think that the only two places that you should vote are Democrat or Republican, then they're only going to vote for Democrat or Republican. So when you tell people that, it makes it true. Now, we've only ever seen America in Democratic or Republican situations.
Right. But we do know there are other parties.
There's other parties.
Yes.
There's non-affiliates. It's weird that we haven't tried any of them. Like, we've all been disappointed by both sides. Yet, it's all we know, Like, this is all you're going to go to.
Yeah.
But what's sick is that, like, when you go, and I found this out not last year, the year before when I voted for the first time. Uh-huh. The only information that's on the ballot is their name and their affiliated party. And the reason that I found that to be so sick is because, like, there is literally no education when it comes to the voting process. You don't have the opportunity because you can't get the ballot. Yeah. Like, I don't have access to what's actually going to be on the ballot until I am literally looking at it. So, and it's not easy to find. Like, if you just Google, you would think that it would be easy enough. I would have voted in 2019 or 2018. I can't remember when it was that I was looking. I would have voted then if it would, because people were talking about how the midterm elections are the most important ones, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right, what's on the ballot? And I just look up what's on the ballot next month. You can't get it. You can get an example ballot, which is from last year. Like, yeah. I don't have any information.
So you people really go into this blind unless they're watching propaganda.
Yes. And I don't know the better way to do it. Like there's a website called Ballotpedia, I think it's called, maybe Ballotopedia.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Ballotpedia. And you can click on, and I don't know how exactly you find these people, but I always find them on my YouTube ads. Like, I just Google the people that's on the YouTube ads killing babies. Like,
see, I hear ads and shit like
YouTube ads where like this person is absolutely terrible for Ohio. Like, all right, let's look him up. Let's look him up.
Tim Ryan and shit. You know exactly what I'm talking about, bro.
Exactly. He's like, agreed with Joe Biden 100% of the time.
Like, bro, I have no idea what y'all are talking about. But when I go there and I see Tim Ryan, it's either I'm supposed to be voting for him or you hate the opposite.
Yeah,
like,
you hate
only
him.
option, like, bro, it's like.
But what's sick about that is that once you get in there, they make it very party line-ish. Mm-hmm. Like, you go in there and you know that you're supposed to vote based on all the information that they give you. This one's the Democrat. Yeah. This one's the Republican. Which side you on? You blood or you Crip? Like, that's it. Where you from? Is literally like going into the ballot. Or going into the polls, I don't know what they call it. Going into the polls is literally like, where you from, nigga? Yeah. Hey, nigga, where you from?
But it may change my mind if they told me what these candidates stood for without watching it on TV and bashing each other.
Now, you can. Now, there's a way to do that. And my dog, who is the one who, like, convinced me to vote, he doesn't do that. I don't know where he gets his information from. I don't know how you know who's going to be on the ballot. The only reason that I voted in the presidential election is because I did the mail-in thing, and they send you the ballot. Like, they send you who's on it. So I had time to Google all of these people, and I'm not going to lie to you, man. None of them are good. None of the ones that are ever going to win are good. All of the people who were like, oh, shit, they want to, like, legalize weed. They want to punish police officers more often. They are not important. Like, they're not going for anything important, and they're also a party that's just not going to win. Mm-hmm. I still voted for them, but it's like, none of these mother. And all of them, even the good ones, are ones that got one of them, like, little sketchy little, like, ooh, I don't know about that one, bro. Like,
what the fuck you into your free time?
Yeah. But that's the only reason I did. I don't know how people get their information otherwise, but I would love to find out. Like, I would love people, because I'm sure there's going to be someone who hears this that's a voter Nazi. Mm-hmm. Mom, please hit me with all the information that you have, because she's one of the people that absolutely tells me every time, like,
you ever met a neutral?
What do you mean?
A neutral party. Like, someone who's not Democrat or Republican. Just
vote
on. Okay. So.
Yeah, the dude, great guy. Great guy. Voter Nazi, but great guy. He's what he calls a libertarian. I cannot tell you what exactly a libertarian is, but there's something to the like, it has the vibe of you do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else.
No.
That's the idea.
Republicans hate them.
Okay.
So that's all I know.
I don't know. You only know that because you be around Republicans a lot.
And they use liberal as an insult. So
that's not the same. Libertarian and liberal.
Oh, not the same?
Liberal is Democrat, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. I thought. Okay. Conservative is
Conservative is Republican. Liberal
okay,
is
so
Democrat.
Not the same thing as a libertarian, you said?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I don't think so.
Okay. Somebody check us on that, because I want to know. Because I can look it up. I'm going to look it up now. Because I really want to know that. I think liberal, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that it doesn't. And I think libertarians are more Democratic than they are Republican, but I genuinely don't know.
So does the guy who's the voter Nazi, did he try to persuade you towards the side?
No. He did. I think a lot of voter Nazis are under the impression that voting is a civil duty. I think a lot of them are under the impression that it's not a right. Like, voting is a civil right. And rights, you do not have to do. Duties, if you don't do them, you go to jail.
Yeah.
That's why jury duty is called jury duty. You literally have a duty to do it. Like if you don't report for jury duty, you can go to prison. You can be punished. When it comes to voting, you can't be punished for not voting because you get to choose to vote.
Right. And he's always been a voter since you met him?
Yeah. Yeah, he go hard, bro. He go hard. He cares about very few things. Golf and voting are two of his favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
He's the older guy?
Nah.
Really?
That's crazy, ain't it? That's crazy, ain't it? He is really... I call him grandpa, too, because he legit... He's an old dude in a young man's body.
Have you asked him what changed for you since you've been voting?
I'm sure I have, but again, his answers are along the lines of, you got to put in...
time.
Yeah, you got to put in the 40 years, and my grandpa still died and didn't get the thing that he wanted. But the idea is that, and again, this is something that I could get behind. If you think, and if you have evidence, and these people might, like some people might have evidence that if you just vote enough for the thing that you give a fuck about, one day is going to change. Think about it, bro. LGBTQ rights. Mm-hmm. Like that's a thing today. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with voting or just like social pressure. Like I don't know what the connection between social pressure and voting is, but there are things that are alive and true today that could never have been a thing when my granny was a lass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like,
there's something happened. Something is happening, and I think, not gonna lie to you, I think Twitter has is the biggest part of that. And I'm not saying Twitter specifically,
social media.
Yeah, but the ability to share ideas quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I think that has a giant role to play, and I don't know exactly what it is that's making this change, but I can definitely say that things are changing.
So, that makes me think, fuck voting. Just throw your opinion on Twitter or social media. Repeatedly.
One of the opinions on social media is that you need to vote. That's one of the places that I see it the most.
But I think it's sports now too. Like, I remember LeBron, that last election, that vote shit was everywhere. Like, legit everywhere. Like, the commercials had all the athletes talking about your vote matters, this and that. Like, it was legit everywhere. And it makes me think, why was it that important that they stopped us watching our entertainment to say this? Like, is it a money thing? Like, what? If a certain amount of people vote, do y'all get some type of bonus or something?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Well, like I said, the people who are voter Nazis, the people who tell you that you have to vote, like whatever you do, you just gotta fucking vote. Those people are passionate about it. And that's exactly how I would expect them to react if they were passionate about it. Sincerely. You're passionate. I could, like, again, bro, if you told me 45%, there's a 45% chance. We're not even at half, gang. If there's a 45% chance, like, you convince me that I could possibly change the way that the hood works in 20 years, I'm in. No question, I'm in. And I'm a voter Nazi now. If you told me that there was a chance that I could change police brutality in 20 years, I'm talking about, I don't even know if I'm going to be here in 20 years. I'm definitely on everybody's neck about voting. For sure. And maybe they have that conviction. Maybe they genuinely believe that they can change the world if they convince enough of us to vote.
So, if it was true, why couldn't they guarantee it?
Fuck. It's a great question.
Like, that's why I can't buy into it. You can't guarantee it to me. It's like a pyramid scheme. That's exactly what it's like. Like, I need you, and you in order for this to work. Like, bro, like, that should tell you something right there.
Why? Why would that tell you something? The idea from the beginning was that we're going to do whatever the people want. We need to know what the people want, and you do it by popular vote. The idea that wins more votes is the one we go with. That means you do need you, and you to make it seem like your idea is the better one. That's the one that we want.
So, would you think voting numbers are down from when voting became a thing?
No, way up.
Way up?
Way up.
So, if they're way up, these voters should be happy because they're getting, if it's the people's getting what they want, right? And they're not picking, oh, you should vote for this guy, or just do your vote. And you're getting what you want. Why are you trying to recruit more people?
I feel like we're back on you questioning whether
it matters or not.
No, I feel like we're back on you questioning whether or not they only care because the person that they want or the thing that they want isn't being voted in. Like you're saying, if all you want is people to be voting, you got that.
Because like I'm trying to think of possible solutions, like of why it would make sense for this guy to be like, oh, you need to vote. Let's say everyone votes. Then what? You're still going to live the same life. You're not getting what you want. Then all you're going to do is...
Their life changes, bro.
How?
Their life changes.
I think it's going to try to convince people to vote for who you want them to vote for.
Sure. Something that a lot of Democrats tell me is that the population is Democratic.
I've never heard that before.
Like, the popular vote always goes to Democrats. That's what they say. I don't have any evidence of this. I didn't look it up. I'm not that invested. But they say that the popular vote always, like if they went by numbers, Democrats win every fucking time. But because of the way that the areas are split up, the popular vote ain't really what decides it.
And does that say enough for you?
It says a lot. I can't say that it says enough, but it says a lot. The Electoral College definitely seems schemy to me.
Seems, or it is like.
Well, no, again, this is you speaking. This is you speaking about something that you just don't know. I accept. I don't know what the goal of the Electoral College is. I don't know how the goal. I don't know how it makes sense.
All right.
Maybe it makes sense.
Let's use what you were just speaking on. This voting thing came around to give the people what they want, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if everyone is voting, most people are voting Democrat, why is there a need for the Electoral College?
I don't know.
Can you think of a valid reason that, this kind of not fair? Let's put some people in power to choose now. Like,
no.
Like, you can't think of a logical solution to make it fair?
Huh?
You can't give me a solution to make it fair. So if majority is voting for this one candidate, why don't this candidate just win? Like, I can't think of a solution why he will lose when most people voted for him.
I don't understand it either. But I can't say that I have recently looked into the Electoral College.
Do you think they're not trying to really give the people what they want?
I don't know. You see how you're jumping to a conclusion, though?
Because
do you feel that? Do you feel the?
Yes.
I'm not saying that it doesn't make sense.
It truly does not make sense.
I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm not saying that it makes sense. What I'm saying is that it's still a leap to a conclusion.
Yes.
There are answers to the question that you're asking. This is something that I really dislike about conversations like this. And I'm not, I appreciate it being on the podcast. But something that I think happens too often is that there is a great question to be asked. There's a great question to be asked. Like, why is this like this? And that is enough for most people. Most people say, why is it like this? It's wrong. Like, fuck, man.
But me or
just answer.
This is proof for this solution. Which is not true.
That's not how that works.
Listen, I am aware of that. But is there someone who can answer that question?
What the Electoral College is? Yeah, man. You haven't looked for it.
No, not
why
if majority people vote for this person, why doesn't he automatically win?
Because of the answer is the Electoral College. That's the answer. I don't know why the Electoral College is. I did at one point. Well, I'll tell you what happened. There was a Republican bloke who was trying to explain to me how California would decide the president every single time if it was for popular vote. And I was like, no. Like, I don't see how that would be true. Because there aren't more people in California than there are literally everywhere else. Yeah, like literally everywhere else. If California was the only people that voted for Hillary and literally everybody else voted for Trump, Trump wins. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand. And he sent me this long thing that I'm not going to lie to you, I couldn't make it through. But he thinks the Electoral College must exist. And I don't understand it. I didn't understand it then. I didn't really give it the best college try. Mm-hmm. Irony, me using college try. Mm-hmm. I didn't try my best to understand it. I think I was being ornery and also just like disagreeing outwardly. But I don't think that means that there isn't an answer. There might be an answer. And it might be unsatisfactory. We both might still end up like, oh yeah, no, this is a scam. But yeah. I don't think that jumping to it before knowing the answer is the way to go about it. I genuinely did not want to talk about this for an hour. I did not think that this was going to be an hour's worth of conversation.
This conversation makes me want to talk to them voter Nazis. Like, give you the answer to my question. But
you got to be accepting of the answers to your question.
Yes, but also it's like the ones that I know, they're trying to draw me to their side, and that makes me not want to speak to you. So I don't know the ones who are unbiased. So it's like, I don't know who to reach out to for this.
Yeah, your voter Nazis want you to be a Republican, to be honest.
That's a fact, man. And they have not convinced me that this shit is not a scam. And
maybe that's a goal. Maybe that's a goal of ours from here on out.
And I don't want this shit to be a scam, bro. Like, I don't want it to be like this, but I'm just convinced it is.
But neither of us have put forth much time into finding out what exactly this is.
Yes. And because when I use my common sense and something that just makes so much sense to me and they choose not to do that, it draws me away from that. Like, if I see a fire in the house and you don't want to put it out, like, that's kind of crazy to me. Like, you must want this bitch to burn down. When the majority of people vote for this guy and he does not win, well, you must not want him to win. Like, that's how I look at it. So it's like, it pushes me away. It truly pushes me away.
No, you're right, man. It is definitely, it's a deterrent seeing how things don't make overt sense. That's actually really difficult for me to get over. I usually will just bail on learning about politics because it doesn't make like very clear sense. Mm-hmm. Like, it always gets to a point where it's like, wait, why would that be the case? And it's like, we're grown, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, we can make Twitter polls, YouTube polls, like Instagram polls. Those exist. You can literally decide things so easily. Yeah. Like, it is not difficult to decide stuff. Why is it so, like, why do you make it difficult? And a part of me also doesn't want to fall victim to a trick, which is what I feel like a lot of the voter Nazis believe is happening. The way that we get frustrated when things don't make sense, it's like, that's exactly what they wanted. I think the voter Nazis see our reaction, and they're like, this is exactly what they want. They want you to not vote because you don't believe in this process. They want you to not make decisions. And I don't know that that's true, but I don't want to fall victim to a giant scam like that. My voice will never be heard because they trick me into not wanting to tell it.
Does these voter Nazis that you know put money into this? That you know of?
I don't know what you mean.
Fund campaigns and shit?
Not that I know of. But I could definitely see that.
Are they passionate enough if they don't?
Probably, yeah. I wouldn't say, because there are things that I'm passionate about that I don't put any money toward. And it's not that I don't have the ability to put money towards it. Like, there are things that I care about that, you know?
But care about enough to share and try to change someone else's opinion.
That's a good point. That's a good, yeah. There is.
Okay.
There is. I never donated to an atheist anything.
But that's bad weird. Yeah, that's an organization of atheists is just weird. Like,
okay,
like that's another call.
I would disagree with you, but okay. But like, what's interesting to me now that we're having this conversation, most of the voter Nazis that I know, they all right. Like, they're doing all right. Like, they're doing okay.
And that says something, doesn't it?
Ooh,
that personally says something.
Bro, two of the voter Nazis that I know are like, they good.
Look at it like this, man. You come from the hood. Do you meet passionate people who's worried about what our military is doing in the hood?
Yes.
Are they a rare breed?
Yes.
Does that say something right there? Like, I have personal problems that I'm dealing with, and you worry about this voting shit. Like, I'm not worried about somebody who's not in my face, or for that's not in the country right now. They're handling business working. Like, I don't think about that. Like, I don't kneel and bow my head when I see a flag. Like, no, I got other shit. How am I paying this bill and shit? But you're so passionate about voting. Like, you must not have nothing else to do or worry about.
Yeah.
This must be your highlight of your day.
No, I totally understand that. I understand where you're coming from. I definitely feel that way to a certain degree. Where, man, you have the privilege for this to be a thing that you're passionate about. Like, again, the things that I've brought up multiple times are the things that I'm passionate about, and they seem to matter so much more than, like, if you have someone who's worried about, you know, whether where I'm going is safe today. Like, if you have to worry about whether where you're going is safe today, and that's where you're going every day, why do you give a fuck? Like, what's going to change that? And that's something that I've always said. When I tell people why I haven't voted before, my answer was always, I have seen all different people my mom's been having. And this is how I gauge what's going on. Like, I know who won the presidential elections, and that's it. And I know when my mom's upset and when my mom's not upset. That means that her side won or her side lost. And regardless, my dailies were the exact same. My every dailies didn't change, except for with the abortion thing. That shit was mad crazy. That shit was super, super crazy.
What changed for you?
Nothing changed for me, but I can literally see daily life change. Like birth control is like hard to get now.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. And I have always, and some people may not know this, but I have always been pro-abortion. Like, not not pro-choice, but pro-abortion. You left me hanging on that one, and that made me feel like a bad guy. Like, not pro-choice, but like pro-abortion. And there was, like, I don't want children.
Uh-huh.
And my wife also doesn't want children. But she was able to have children. And there were times where we definitely had the hard conversation. Like, if you did end up being pregnant, I'm not saying that we weren't careful or anything, but shit happens, bro. Like, everybody knows shit happens. And there was conversations before, like, if you were ever to get pregnant, you know, what do we do? Are you down with the good old fashioned baby killing? And
go become a doctor?
No. But, like, yeah, that's like, yes, we could we could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now to think, that's not a thing for us anymore, but to think that could have
been a reality.
And you just got to deal with it. That's terrifying to me.
And then...
So, and there is a chance that voting could change that. Would you agree?
Yes. But it's weird because it's like...
But there are people that feel the same way that we feel about the hood. The same way we feel about cops. There are people that feel the same way about abortion. On either side, I'm not saying either side is wrong or anything like that, but there's people on either side that feel like I could change the world about abortion with my vote. And I don't think they're wrong.
And I would like to be wrong. Me personally, I would like to be wrong about this. Thinking it, because I think it won't change if I just throw in my simple little vote. And I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
How would you know?
When all my niggas vote and they let me know. Oh, damn, not this time.
Damn, we missed it by one vote.
Who said I was going to vote for that? Missed it probably by 2? I was just like that. See? Like, y'all was better off if I didn't vote. But I would like to be wrong about that shit, though. I would love to be. But no, that shit, that's why I'm raising a little one. That shit is crazy. A little girl at that. That's crazy. That is definitely crazy shit. So it's like, that was a tough one because it's like, that's taken away. I feel like just a human right there. To either want to have this baby or not. Just taking that little thing away is, who the fuck voted for that? Like, please go vote.
Really?
No, don't. Listen, if you feel like voting, find your purpose in voting. Really. I haven't found my purpose yet, but I'm open to it. And if you're a voter Nazi, please speak to us. Because I truly have some questions I would love answers to.
And all I want to say is that people are as free to complain as they are to vote.
Oh, that's a fact.
Or not vote.
That's a fact.
And freedom doesn't mean obligation. It means choice.
Correct.
To do or not to do. It wouldn't be freedom if you only had one of those options.
Correct.
And look, like I said, I'm a vote. But I hate the you gotta vote shit. I hate that just as much as the voter Nazis hate when people complain but don't vote. Because you don't have control over this. Freedom means that there are people out here that get to do whatever the fuck they want. That, like people get to do whatever they want. People do what they want to do, whether you like it or not. And you know, someone told me that they think that some things are messed up because of their generation. And they're afraid that our generation is going to make a similar mistake. And I completely understand being passionate about that. I empathize with their view. Mm-hmm. But one of the hardest things to accept when being a responsible adult is that you sometimes have to watch people be irresponsible. And
I'm weird with that because it's only tough for me because of if it's people I care about.
Regardless, you have to watch people be irresponsible. As a responsible person, you don't get to make those responsible decisions for everyone else. It's one of the hardest things to accept when you are actually living that responsible life, is watching people and seeing decisions that you would have made differently. And knowing that it's not your fucking decision to make.
Yeah, you speaking of the controlling aspect.
Yeah, as much as you want to.
Yeah, that shit is
it's not for you.
Yeah, that shit is tough as fuck.
And that's what it is with this voting thing. As much as you want me to take the opportunity that my ancestors died for me to do, as much as you want me to pick the right person to put into office the way that you didn't when you were younger, or the way that your generation didn't when they were younger, as much as that's what you want, I want to exercise the rights that my ancestors died for and let you pick the person.
And it's funny because they don't see you exercising that right.
They do not. But that's exactly what I'm doing.
So
a right is something that I can say no to.
I think you're opening people's eyes to that. The voting rights' eyes to that. Because that's exactly what it is. Like, you're actually generalizing it, doing the same thing they're doing, exercising it right.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
And you look like a bad guy because you're not doing the way they're doing it.
I only look like a bad guy to them, though.
Yeah.
I feel great.
So
I feel great.
Yeah.
I gotta get up early as fuck tomorrow to vote, though.
Why? They don't do mail-ins, or that's just for a special?
You have to, in order to mail in, you gotta be early. And I don't be knowing when voting is coming.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't early enough.
Where you voting at?
What?
Where are you voting at? Bro, I have no idea where the fuck you vote at. This is new to me.
It depends on where you stay. Where you're registered to vote.
Oh, yeah. I don't register any of that, man.
Yeah. You know, the first time we'll end it here, but the first time I ever registered to vote
was in school.
It was on a whim, bro. It was crazy. I was militant in school, so everything that I disagreed with, I was willing to fight over that shit. Like, I was a menace when I was still in school. But no, first time I ever registered to vote, I was helping my brother at the BMV. He needed me to put a car in his name. So we got to the BMV, bro. It was hot as fuck that day. Get out the whip. A nigga come over to us. He got a wife beater on and he just sweating, bro. Dude sweating bullets. And he got a clipboard in his hand. And he was like, yo, man, y'all trying to register? Y'all registered to vote? And I was like, no, we not registered to vote, bro. And he was like discouraged that he walked off. And I'm thinking, hold on, man. Like, if he... I just need to get
you out the sun.
If this gets you home... I said, bro, if you fill this sheet up, you get to, like, if I sign this paper, it gets you closer to getting out of this heat. He was like, yeah, man, I'm dying out here. I'm like, oh, yeah, I got you. I'm registered. Yeah, that's registered to vote real quick.
Right. They be doing that shit at the gas station and shit.
Man, bro, it was so miserable that day. I had to help dog out.
Yeah. Damn.
First time I ever registered. I ain't vote till I had to re-register, but like.
No, that's some solid. You been solid.
I had to save dog, man. It was crazy out there. My brother walked past me, but all right, man. I might actually turn the DMs off for this one. No, I might turn the DMs. I said I support abortion,
but no, man.
It's tough out here.
Because if they hear this, I really want their opinion on this of what made them so passionate. And two, how did they find their purpose? Like, because I want to find my purpose.
That's a great fucking question.
Like, bro,
what made you so passionate?
Like,
that's a great question.
Because, kids don't get taught politics like that. Kids be kids. Like, I really want to know that. So please reach out.
And a lot of times, the things that people believe in very strongly were literally just given to them. So, like, you're just told that this is something that's important, so you just accept it as important. But if there was something that makes you passionate about it, yes, the Overly Opinionated podcast would love to know.
Please, man.
Hit us up at the Overly Opinionated podcast on Instagram, at the OO Pod Boys on Twitter, and the Overly Opinionated Pod at gmail.com if you want to email us like a granny. But that's it, man. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Farewell.